Hi, this is Jody O'Mara from the PreK Early Learning Team. The purpose of this session is to review enhancements made to the instructional focus of the scope and sequence in the curriculum maps. This summer, the district has been working to revise these support documents from pre-K through grade 12. These documents, among others, will be used to support our planning and guide instruction for the 2021 school year. As we complete our weekly collaborative planning sessions, we will be referring to these documents. You may want to pause here to go into the Pre-K Educators Schoology group and look in the resources. You will find a folder called 2021 Pre-K Curriculum. In that folder are the documents we will be reviewing on this video. In looking at these documents, one of the major enhancements you will see is that the district has established power standards from within the state standards. These standards have been determined as being essential to success in the classroom. Other standards have been named support standards. These standards support the power standards. None of the standards are expected to be taught in isolation, and all standards are expected to increase in rigor over time. We will start by looking at the Pre-K Language Arts Scope and Sequence, and then the Language Arts Curriculum Map. Following that, we will examine the math document, which will act as our curriculum map and pre-K progression plan. The document you see here is the Pre-K English Language Arts Scope and Sequence for 2021. The Scope and Sequence provides an overview of what needs to be addressed throughout the year. These standards are from the Language and Literacy domain of the Florida Early Learning and Developmental Standards, 4 years old to kindergarten. You will see that this document is broken down into quarters. Each quarter specifies the power standards for that quarter. You'll notice that in pre-K, the power standards are taken from vocabulary, emergent reading, and emergent writing. These will be our driving standards, with the support standards helping us to create success with the power standards. In the column next to support standards are the resources that each teacher should have and use for the instructional planning. Finally, in the last column, there are ways in which we can measure the effectiveness of our curriculum and instruction. Each of these are assessment tools that you should be familiar with. Let's move on to take a look at the ELA curriculum map. Here is the Pre-K Language Arts curriculum map for 2021. Again, this document is broken down by quarter. Right now, you're viewing quarter 1. This document takes the power standards listed on the scope and sequence and breaks it down further. Each standard has an essential question matched to it. These are found in the second column. These questions are the essence of the standard and highlight why the standard is so important. It lends itself to mastery, application, and transfer. The next 2 columns of this document include the vocabulary and skills or expected outcomes needed for a student to be successful with the standard. The vocabulary should be explicitly taught as well as used within the context of the lessons. In order to provide consistency within the district, we have developed a performance task for each power standard. These tasks are meant to be rigorous enough to show mastery and can be used at the discretion of the teacher as a formative assessment. The last column of the map reflects the district-supported resources common to all pre-K classrooms. This document will be heavily emphasized throughout the year in our collaborative planning. Each quarter is formatted the same way. Here's quarter 2. Quarter 3. Again, our power standards. And quarter 4. Now let's take a look at our math document. You are now looking at our pre-K math progressions for 2021. This document is a little bit different from the ELA documents. In mathematics, it was determined that all math standards in pre-K are essential foundations. For this reason, all standards in mathematics have been addressed as power standards. This means that a standard may be addressed throughout the year with different levels of difficulty or complexity. In looking at this document, the standards are listed down the left side of the page, and the quarters are in the columns across the top of the page. For each standard, the expectation of that standard is indicated through a description or the performance tasks under each quarter. For instance, when considering subitizing up to 5 objects, Quarter 1 starts with subitizing only 1 or 2 objects. Quarter 2 increases the expectation of subitizing up to 4 objects. Quarter 3 with 5 objects, and Quarter 4 with 5 or more objects. If we look down at patterning in Domain C, you will see that the identifying an existing simple A-B repeating pattern is only addressed in quarters 1 or 2. The performance tasks show the different levels of complexity between those 2 quarters. You will also notice that in quarters 2 and 3, duplicating patterns using different objects is addressed. This document helps to illustrate how a standard can be addressed throughout the year at different levels of depth and complexity. It also provides suggested pacing for addressing the standards. Again, this document will be used regularly in our collaborative planning session. All of the documents shared here can be found in the resource folder of our PreK group in Schoology. Other related materials will be added to this resource folder throughout the year. I hope you have a very successful upcoming school year. For any questions about these documents or anything related to PreK curriculum, please contact any of our specialists on the early learning team. Luann Howe, Angela Napick, Stacy Schmall, or Jody O'Mara would all be happy to help you. Thank you.